Number one, and this is the most powerful thing you can do to your weapons to improve them, and that is change your calibration. And we're talking about replace calibration attributes bar. Now, what are your calibration stats? They're the +4, +7, and +10. And that is if I now calibrate the weapon 10 times to make it stronger, it will get bonus range, weak spot damage, and crit rate. Now, that's okay, but I can replace this to something better. Since my fully upgraded gun currently is boasting, instead, bonus mobility and movement speed while holding the gun, and then 4.2% and 8.3% crit rate. Almost a 13% increase in crit chance just by replacing the attribute. And I can rip it out of this sniper rifle to increase it even further. Because the way you get these mods is at the disassembly bench. You go for guns, and then I'm throwing the gun out of the window. Here, it would be the sniper rifle, and it will give me the calibration blueprint. And the symbol on the gun displays it. Everyone that's having the blue paper sheet going on essentially has a calibration blueprint going on. Now we're going to go on to calibrate, replace calibration attribute, and I could get myself stability, significant aim shake reduction, and even more crit chance. Instead of getting more movement speed, I'll just always aim true. Number 2, making fuel while you sleep. These are my water pumps, and they're currently on oil spills. Oil spills you can see on the map as the dark spots. Oil spills, oil spills, oil spills. And they kind of start as soon as you begin in the red sands area. In the greener region, there are no oil spills. There's down here a pollution zone event, but that doesn't count as oil spills, which means your server has to be at least in week 2 to do this. For me, I could start with level 25 on. And putting water pumps into this black ground has them produce crude oil. And this is now in the past 16 hours. I got 230, another 230, so in total 600 plus crude oil. 700 crude oil actually in my inventory right now. And that can be brought into your normal refineries. These are my refineries, and it already turned this crude oil into fuel overnight, and it's already processing another 820. The same goes over here, still processing 170, and gave me another 75. Now I could top this up with 550, and I could top this up as well, and I'll just continuously make fuel and never actually have to farm fuel. And that's the best part, because I have 403 fuel right now. I could ride around the whole map multiple times during my whole playthrough. And if I return back tomorrow, I have enough fuel to do that again and again. So I can adventure around the map and never have to worry about stopping to loot a car, which is absolutely annoying. Number 3, and that would be target farming mods. And for this, I have something incredible for you. My weapon, for example, needed a Fortress Warfare mod to boost Fortress Warfare. Whereas for my boots, I wanted to have something new, and that is called the Covered Advanced Precision. Taking no damage within 4 seconds grants 20% melee weapon and status damage. Amazing. No damage taken for 4 seconds is quite easy, especially as I'm using the Wolf Deviant that will quite get some aggro, and I can stay undamaged. And the mods for your gun and equipment you get from silos, bosses, and now with the hard mode more than ever. But you can target farm mods. It actually does say on every single boss and every single silo what the respective one will drop for you. In this case, it's Securement Silo Theta, and this one will always drop top mods for your chest. And in this case, actually, multiple. Because if you're doing it in hard mode, if you're in week 3 already, bosses always drop 2 legendary mods and 1 epic mod. It's quite huge. And there's an amazing list made by the YouTuber Doomeris. I'll link this in the description below, but I'm already in the process of making an improved version of this. And you can see every single mod for every single piece. If you're now looking for a glove mod, for example, that does crit rate and crit damage, cool. That's just crit rate, crit damage plus 15%. It would be in Silo Sigma, in the Mens Doverin, or the Leah Lab. And we could just go farm this. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this before the hard mode is out, because the Securement Silo Sigma is the level 15 one. But you want to do the hard mode ones for farm because there's more dropping. And if you worry about the hard mode being hard, now, if you worry about doing a Securement Silo hard mode alone, don't. It might be recommended 3 players, but that doesn't matter. You can absolutely knock it out yourself. since there's simply a bigger amount of elites and bosses have bonus effects. This is currently Securement Silo Theta in hard mode, and there is this respective dude gonna come out of the ground. We're gonna aim at him, we're gonna trigger our super bonus, and you just absolutely pulverize him. He has a new ability, as you can see, where he essentially starts the shield around himself. And now I got to go inside the shield area to actually fight him off, right? That's it. But the good thing is the bonus loot you're getting. Because the bonus loot, again, is 2 mods, 6,000 energy link, and 100 Stardust. Yep. Every single boss in a hard mode gives 1 to 120 Stardust. That's pretty huge. With the 2 weapon mods and the ping mod, like, you have your stuff in no time. Now, if you're still not level 50, forget about that AFK stupid salt farm that you've seen so many times. I'll get something better for you. There are 7 bosses in this area that we can clear from the teleportation tower next to the Blackfell town, reset the bosses in the Blackfell town, and then return. Let me run this down for you. From the teleportation tower, we're simply sailing downwards, and our goal will be going up to the light tower on the Tibbity Toppy. That's our friend number 1. Why are we killing these elites? They can drop Stardust. They're giving us weapons that we can then break down for these calibration markers that we have been looking for. Yep, they can give you those legendary and ping weapons to then make your weapons better than ever. Mods, cortexes, literally everything you could be asking for, and tons of XP. An elite 800, a boss 1500, easy mode. Now, as we've driven up here, you can take out these mods for 200 XP per, and well, we're getting Battle Pass XP, so it's even worth it to kind of do this even if you're fully maxed leveled already. Then you get the Disciple as the elite number 1, and we're just gonna send him to Narnia. That would be now our first 800 XP, and he's essentially dropping for us Energy Link, Luxury Rush, Acid, and the Cortex. Cool. Now we're going to be jumping down to the next boss, and that one would be in the tiny village, and that's number 2 of 7. Don't worry, we're not going to be forgetting about the boss on top of the garage. Now, he does not have an actual weak spot where you do killer damage, but that's why we're going to just be critting him to hell. Yes, he does have the teddy bear there, and even if you shoot the teddy bear in the belly, it is not a crazy weak spot, but you can just blast the wish machine away. It might take a few shots, but he can't actually hurt you, right? I mean, you have that bear, the bear's going to explode, there's going to be some area damage, but that's about it. Like, he's never going to actually attack you, he's never going to get to you, so we can just absolutely take him out. And not only is he going to give you very good loot, there is a chest behind him that respawns every 3 hours. So this one now gives us Energy Link, mob parts, and another Eclipse Cortex that we can then upgrade. Perfection. But he could also drop us tier 5 gear. Obviously, the silos give you more gear, but at some point you might be getting tired of silos, and it costs you controllers to actually get the very good gear from the mobs. Right? That boss is 1,337 XP. Then you have this elite flying up here, and we're going to crouch down for maximum damage. Good, that's another 800 XP already knocked out. making good progress, right? I mean, that's 800 XP, 200 for every mob, plus the 1,337. And we're getting, again, oh, that's Shelterer shoes from one of the legendary sets that you can only get from the Battle Pass store. You can try them out if they're worth it or not. Now there's the next boss, and you gotta wait for his glowy balloons to glow. So they're all dim, and then they're gonna get a very slight glow as he advances. Boom, and you can do a lot of damage to him. And now we're gonna wait for this one to glow up. And that's it. We took him out. I think he's 900 XP if we're not mistaken. Which will give us Eclipse Cortex, Stardust, Energy Link, everything. Right? It's number 4 now, and we get 3 more coming. Okay? For this, we're going to go into the store. 200 XP, 200 XP. Loot everything in here, which is a bunch of endgame materials plus another chest, right? Then below in the garage, you will find another storage crate. But we're not going to go below in the garage this time. We're going to be going to the left. So storage crate and weapon crate below in the garage. There's no boss there, so we're going to leave that out. We're going to go left side past. But just keep in mind that you could have gone into the garage as well. And then we can make our way on top of the garage from here. Because there is another boss that I recently figured out the weak spot. It's called the TV dude. If I'm not mistaken, when one of his TVs is glowing, that's where actually his weak spot is. But I never really needed it. You know, you just blast him out of the air. I think he's another 1,000+ experience. Energy Link, CPU, Stardust Source, Eclipse Cortex, Artisan's Touch actually. That is a deviant that repairs your gear. Now there is another 800 XP elite just waiting for you. Taken down. Jump below. Now I told you about that storage crate and... Oh, sorry, you're standing a bit too close. Weapon crate. Yep. You mentioned that. I don't want to steal this from you. So that's what was, purifier, weapon parts, grenades, ammunition, could have been blueprints, could have been another mod, whatever you're looking for. Which has us loot our friend the elite that gave us another 800 XP. With tier 5 item. Cool. Could have been a weapon as well. Now, this store is full of loot, which is very good. No worries, though. There's one final elite to take down, but not only one final elite to take down, there is a bunch of bonus chests, because this building inside here has tons of loot, right? Then we're getting another weapon crate, which has the same chance for a legendary mod, correct? We get the storage crate. Interesting enough, on top of the building is another storage crate. So if you're making your way around, and then you should jump on this AC unit, make your way up, one more crate. And lastly, we're heading past the gas station to essentially get up the hill. I'd have to pull out my bike if I can't walk up it. Because the bike, so that's funny. I can't actually walk up it, right? But for some obscure reason... I'm not going to blow up here now. Skyrim! We're going up. And there, in this camp, is another boss. One of these centaur dudes called the Servitor. He should be in the very... There he goes. Crouch down. Oh. Miss him. Send him back to his ancestors. Now, as a last step, you go back into Blackfell City. Change worlds with G on the teleporter, reverse this to the other teleporter, and then rinse and repeat. And one of these runs is like 6, 7, 8,000 XP, especially if you kill some of the tiny ones in between. And you could do this every 3 hours to just loot every single chest. And if you're looking at the interactive map, I'll link it in the description below, there's quite some chests I didn't talk about that you can loot on top of that. There's another storage crate, tons of storage crates otherwise, right? Some medkits, the gear crates we mentioned. There's another gear crate next to the gas station. Stacked area. And yes, next to that servitor where we just killed, there's another gear crate. Now we've been talking about the controllers that you need to get the super loot from silos and bosses, correct? When it says max loot, where do you actually get these controllers from? And there's 3 locations to actually get them. First, you could open your map, press X, and it shows you the amount of public events out there. This is the public crisis event Paradise Lost. I could teleport, knock it out, and the problem is I only get 1 controller, and sometimes these take up to 10 minutes. Now, you do get a Cortex, XP, and Energy Link, so it's not completely useless. And the fun part is, after you knocked out one of these events, or if you don't like that event, you could just teleport to any tower and go world hopping. So I'm in world 3. Now we're going to go for world 5. Then I'm going to open the map, check for the public crisis events, none happening. We're going for world 9 and so on. So you're going to jump through the worlds because they all have, see, that's public crisis event dig to hell, doesn't have what I'm looking for. Like this, you could look for controller events. There is other stuff to obviously get yourself controllers though. That would be teleporting into any mayor settlement. And there's the vendor that has the tiny chest next to it called Severin, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And he's selling controllers to you for Stellar Planula. Now, it's only 20 in total he's selling, but that's also only 40 Stellar Planula. And that Stellar Planula you get over doing quests, side quests. I mean, I could do this 45 one, get another 15, House on the Hill, get another 15, No Redemption 15, and I could get myself another 40 controllers. That's another 40 bosses for max loot in silos or farming the respective boss for a mod you're looking for. Otherwise, Nisa also does have another 20 controllers for you. They do cost her currency that you're getting from the Cargo Scramble public event. Again, you could be just jumping through loops and hoops with the teleportation to get the resource. Now I'm going to secure myself another cat so I'm actually staying fat. Because yes, if you sleep in your base with your cozy little cat next to you, this one, enjoy itself inside the territory, accompanies its owner to sleep to make sure they are fully energetic the next day. It does for some reason increase your body weight. Now the fatter you are, the heavier you are, the more you can carry. I can carry 100 kilogram, right? If you're lighter, you can carry less. The advantage is the heavier you are, you actually get weapon stability plus 15%. The only thing that reduces is your melee attack speed by 10% and your rolling speed. Who cares? If you're 65 kilograms and below, you get melee attack speed and max stamina. Get your weight class done to whatever you need. If you need to slim down, just stop eating. Yep, there's no downside of starving apart from not getting weapon buffs, but you can just starve yourself down weight-wise. And now a final note for people being scared about running out of Stardust. Simply don't. I have another 47 controllers left. And if I do hard mode dungeons right now, per dungeon, I get 240 Stardust. I need 1,000 Stardust, I knock out 5 dungeons and they take me 2 minutes per dungeon. For this, I highly recommend the Securement Silo Theta because it's just the fastest to blast through for just Stardust farm. Again, don't forget what we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, that you want to do the respective silo or boss for whatever mod you're looking for. Regardless of that, you're going to be flush with Stardust after week 3. And if you run out before that, what have you been doing? Now, if you're looking for all these amazing deviants or the respective sniper build we're currently using to do 100,000 damage and above, there's 2 videos that explain it all for you, plus a huge playlist full of once human videos. Enjoy and have a fantastic day. And if you have bonus tips, don't drop them in the comments below for everyone. Thank you.